good times and bad times, more business forms. I started at Moore's. I was looking for a job, and I talked to our pastor at that time, and he said, "Why don't you go to this place?" As one of the guys in our church worked there. And so I went over there and I got hired, and I had worked there probably a year, and then I got drafted in the Army and had to go in the Army for 2 years. And of course at that time they had the deal that if you went in the Army that the place had to hire you back when you come back. And so I went back there when I got out of there. I had some problems learning the machinery. I had some problems learning the machinery, and had trouble trying to learn it all, and wasn't too good at doing it. But and also they had parties once a year or so, and they always was a big booze party is what it mainly was, and I refused to go at that time. And so that didn't put me in good with the manager of the company. And he called me in one day and said, you try to ruin everything we're doing, and you're not going to go anyplace here. And so that was kind of disheartening, because I was having trouble on the machinery, and so you're just going to stay on that one machine, and that'll be it for you. So that was hard to take, and I kept on working at it, and worked hard at it, and learned a lot better. And in the meantime, they hired another guy who was assistant manager, and he came in, and I'd been on this one machine for a long time, and he came to me one day and says, "Would you like to run one of the other machines?" And I said, "Yeah, I sure would." And so shortly after that, he put me on a different machine, and so I learned another machine, and got more efficient at doing that. And eventually I had run just about every machine in the plant, and then I was on one of the biggest machines there, and that was the rest of my time at Moore's. I was on that machine. So it was bad starting out, and it was good. It was a steady job all those years. I stayed there longer than anybody else. Kind of a funny thing, I finally figured out that maybe I could go to their parties and not be a part of all the stuff that was going on. Well, they always had a raffle, and this one time it was raffling off whiskey, and it called my name, and the place just went quiet, because they all knew that I didn't drink, and so I can't remember exactly what happened. I think they gave me something else and gave that to somebody else, but it was kind of funny. But we had a lot of good times there. I have many friends from there yet. In fact, I saw one of them this last week that I hadn't seen for a long time. Some good Christian guys worked there over the years, and I became friends with them, and still one of them that I just got together with, 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah, at a time, for some reason or other, I agreed to be an assistant. I wasn't the president of the union, but vice president to help out, and I thought, well, yeah, might as well try that. Well, he quit, and so they put me in as that. So I was a president of the union for a while, and I was in on all the negotiations with the company. I was in on all the complaints that people had against the company or the company had against employees. I don't know how I did all that because I never had any learning on how to deal with that, but anyhow, I did do that.